using the buzzword of the National Broadcasters Convention, live and local. Oh, well, maybe not so local, because we're worldwide. This is Money Info, brought to you by Princeton Research, with Mike King in Las Vegas, Charles Moskowitz in Boston, Massachusetts. And, guys, a very pleasant good morning to you. Whoops, what happened here? Whoa! All right, well, that's not going to work too well. All righty. I disconnected it. We'll try again. Let me try an instant replay. We'll be back. Listening to Money Info, brought to you by Princeton Research, with Mike King in Las Vegas, Charles Moskowitz in Boston, Massachusetts, and good morning, guys. Hello, Charles. There we go. Where's Mike?
San Francisco, evidently.
San Francisco? Very cool. Well, you missed the America's Cup by a week. Yeah, about that. All right,
what
Michael.
What a great finish that was, huh?
Oh, yeah. That was. Let me tell you, I covered 83 in Newport, Rhode Island. And actually, this was like, needless to say, very early days of ESPN. And so Carol went up in the blimp to get shots of, like, the actual final shots of the race, which we have those shots in our house now, and it's something that's amazing. Of course, those are the 12 meters, totally right. Unlike the
real
catamarans.
Sailboats.
Yeah, real sailboats. I know, not the cats. But something hit my eye on CNBC. Aside from the fact that stocks are going through the roof now that the government shut down, I love this. I think it's marvelous. But anyway, the number one brand in the globe is what? What do you think, Mike?
Apple. Number one brand in the globe.
Number one brand in the globe. What did you say, Charles?
Apple.
Ooh.
Used to be Coke.
Oh, you've read the article. Yeah. But I think the big news there, guys, is the fact that Coca-Cola has fallen to third behind Apple and Google.
Yeah,
that is mind-boggling to me. That all of us.
And the second half of that article, talked about the valuation of the brand, what the brand is actually worth.
Yeah.
And the last time that they did this, Google was worth, I don't remember the number, but it's something ridiculous. Like it was worth $9.3 billion, and now it's worth $93 billion.
Oh God.
Or 8-point-something billion to
93 billion. Oh, man. That's unreal. Yeah. Oh, that is unreal.
You know, I didn't buy it, but I was out last night, and I saw the new Time magazine, and the cover is, "Can Google Solve Death?"
Oh man, unbelievable! It is truly amazing. Well, we've got 800,000 government workers on furlough, but they can apply to Amazon because they're hiring 70,000 as
Right.
of now. You know, you can get a job at Amazon. Not bad.
Yeah, but but the difference is that if you work for Amazon as opposed for the government, you actually have to work.
Oh, Charles.
Here, they don't pay you to push paper at Amazon.
Oh man. Oh, okay. You're on a roll today. Well, Michael,
Yeah, well, there are 435 guys that I think we should start talking about clawback.
Yeah, that's
on
yeah.
salary.
Well, you know what? Tom Rooney, who used to be our congressman here, is over on the other coast in Florida now. But he has come up with some legislation that is going to die, that the congressman should not be paid during this time.
Yeah, and he's right.
I think that's wonderful. It's not going to see the light of day, but man,
Yeah,
I think that's great. That's really great. Oh, yeah. But so, Michael, what are you doing in San Francisco?
We had a program for Target Energy.
Oh,
Target
okay.
Energy,
Yeah.
the Australian oil company.
The Australian Texans, right?
And it just lasted so long, it lasted until midnight. It was a dinner that just went for a long time because everybody was really interested in what was said and the program for Target. And so it just went on and on and on.
So, Mike, that would be 3 o'clock Eastern time, which means you've had less than 6 hours of sleep.
Oh, yeah, not much sleep out here, that's for sure.
Oh, so it went real well then, huh?
No doubt. No doubt. It was really outstanding.
That's great. That's real good news. I mean, it really is. Wow. Okay. So, what is the outlook for Target? What did you figure out after that last of the feedback and stuff?
Well, their sales and their earnings are growing exponentially. Their sales are growing. Their drilling is growing very nicely. The sales, if you look at their performance, it's going up at a 45-degree angle. You can't ask for more than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really doing a nice job. The people running the company have a lot of ability. They came from Australia, which is really a mining center anyway.
Right.
But all of their exploration and drilling activities are in both Texas and Louisiana.
Right.
So they're Australians drilling in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
In the Permian, which has got many, many levels of production, the Permian.
Sure.
And also in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
which is really outstanding.
That's great. That is really, really
and
good
for
news.
those who want to trade it here in the U.S., the symbol for the U.S. traded stock is T as in Tom, E, X, Q, Y. TEXQY. And the current trade is $6.96.
Okay, dare I ask a real naive question? How do people come up with these symbols?
Well, anything that's foreign always has a Y at the end of it.
Really? I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Absolutely.
Huh.
The difference between BlackBerry and Burberry
Yeah?
is BlackBerry is BBRY, and BlackBerry because it Burberry, because it ends in a Y, has an F on the end of it, so that's an exception. But they always have either an F for foreign or a Y at the end of them.
Interesting. I didn't know that at all. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. That's very
Yeah.
cool. Well, speaking of BlackBerry, my friend, your phone company's in trouble.
You think? Well, you know, I'm sure that a deal is going to get done, and I'm sorry that we weren't on last week, because that was the dirtiest deal I have ever seen. They were due to release their earnings this past Friday.
Yeah.
They released them. They stopped trading in the stock, which always really it takes away your ability to, you know, make a judgment and do something because the stock isn't trading.
Right.
They reported the dramatically poor results, and then the next morning came up with the bid for the stock, which was over where it was trading, but under where it was trading before they had the earnings. And that's just not fair. You know, I mean, people, you know, we put out in the letter a calendar of things that have happened and things that are going to happen in the coming week. And, you know, when you go to the trouble of making the announcement of when you're going to report your earnings and then disregard it, that, you know, just not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm actually fairly certain that, you know, there will be a deal, and probably it'll be 9 or maybe a little more. But, you know, we're long 500 shares in the $100,000 account, and, you know, I'm not giving it to them at $7.95 when I think there's going to be a deal at 9 or 9 1/4.
Oh, boy. Okay. Interesting. Wow.
Well, you remember what happened with Dell. You know, there was a deal, there wasn't a deal, there was
Yep.
a deal, there was a second deal, there was a third possibility.
Yep.
And the fact of the matter was, every time the stock went down to 12 or 12.5, it was a buy because the deal was $13.65. You know, if you believe that the people who want to do the deal have the ability to get the money, and here we have a Canadian company that the government has kind of said we don't want it to be sold to an outsider, and you have a Canadian fund, the guy who wants to take it private is a Canadian fund.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Fairfax
Yeah.
Equities, I think. And, you know, I can't imagine that the
Ghazi Hajj.
government and this Canadian fund can't get together and raise the money.
That's
So,
very
I
interesting.
think there's a strong possibility.
Let's
Was
welcome
that Ghazi?
Yep.
Yes, I'm on.
Hey,
Well,
Ghazi.
Ghazi. From
How you guys
GRILLiT.
How you guys doing this morning?
Hey, we're
Very good.
we're doing fine. So how's GRILLiT doing?
Good, doing amazing. Some exciting stuff already introduced. I'm really looking forward to share that news with you guys this morning.
Well, that sounds great. Now, is the your new store right across the street from Charles's old school, the University of Miami, is that puppy open yet?
Well, it's scheduled to close. Scheduled to open this Friday,
Oh, cool. Okay.
and we're pretty excited for the opportunity. So we're, you know, it's kind of course, between you know, a couple of things happen, but we are on track and to close this Friday.
That's great. That's great. That's good. Good news. Well, tell us about, for folks who were not listening a couple of weeks ago when we had you on, you've got a fascinating story, and you know, all of us are thinking a little bit more health conscious as we go along, and boy, that's where you come in.
Yeah, that's great. Since we talked last, you know, of course, as you are aware, GRILLiT is a Latin Caribbean fusion concept, and it's with a much innovation menu and creative, you know, recipes, all based around health and you know, good living. Since we talked last, we introduced a new menu. We are testing right now at the airport location in Miami, near Miami Airport. and we introduced a new product, the quinoa. The quinoa is basically another grain, which is amazing food, and it's really catching on into the health segment, where a lot of restaurants as well as a lot of folks into the health, part of it is really focusing on eating that particular product. And of course, as I don't know if you follow this kind of news, but the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations declared 2013 the International Year of the quinoa. So
interesting.
So it's not just nationally; it's internationally recognized as a great product.
So
And we're fortunate.
quinoa is a grain, then?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, I have not heard about it.
Oh, we have it here. Everybody sells it now. I mean,
Okay.
you can buy it in Trader Joe's, you can buy it anywhere.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Actually, basically, it took off when they announced the oldest man living. I don't know if this is true or not yet, but 123 years old from Bolivia. He lived on quinoa mushroom and chewing cocoa leaves, and now
Okay.
trying to make sure that all, of course, the documentation in place. But that's actually kind of took off from there on too. Besides this product, we introduced, of course, a Caribbean rice, and as well as a home-style Caribbean honey mustard dressing, which is we have been testing for a month, of course, with a customer intercept in our store. So it seems like it's really an awesome product for people like, the honey mustard type product is just amazing. And as I mentioned earlier, that we revamped some of our menu items, and we introduced new line of salads, as well as the pasta and a couple other products, the cool wraps. We introduced 3 new wraps, tried to keep our menu fresh for our regular customer, as well as attracting new customers in. So.
That sounds great. Yeah. By the way, I was kidding with our local state college coach, Joe Sanchez, saying we may have to get the team bus to stop when we're down at Miami-Dade and down at Broward College to stop by your place for our team meals. It would certainly be healthier than a lot of other places that they've gone. So we'll have to give you a try there.
That'll be awesome. I was hoping is, we're going to try, Charles, this is what we're going to do. I'll commit to you that next Tuesday, we will take some food for you to test on the air. We'll bring up some of our top, menu items and the new recipes. We'll bring it up and try to serve it hot. I know it's about an hour and a half drive, but we'll try to keep it warm on the way there.
That's cool. All right. That sounds great. Yeah, it's right up the highway from you. That would be awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and besides, we introduce again, we're focusing around the health-centric and the health recipes. We introduced some vegan product and bowls for, to attract our new customers. And we've seen recently, of course, we start the fourth quarter, a lot of people are either, going out more, or the weather's better, especially in South Florida, and there's no more rain. And we've seen a lot of new faces in our restaurant, and really they love the concept. And, of course, with the new addition of the menu, it's kind of kept it fresh for our existing customer as well as our new customers.
Ghazi, what's the reaction to the vegan? Because, in a way, it seems like there are more and more people at least talking about the vegan diet.
It's pretty unique. I mean, in our store, we have a lot of items. We have well over 30 items could serve that particular segment. And it seems like it's catching on for die-hard, people don't just want to stick with heavy vegetarian product. And we do have probably over 40 items on the menu with cater for that particular segment of customer, or the health people want to try to stay in that part of the food, I guess. And so that's where we at. Of course, a new vegan quinoa, we introduce it with mushroom, of course, green pepper, red pepper, the dry cranberries, of course, fresh cilantro, the olive oil,
Ooh.
and of course, no dressing. And here's a funny story. Hopefully, you guys a couple of seconds for me.
Sure.
When we introduced it, of course, some of our employee really not familiar with couple of the new employee, 16, 17 years old kids, not familiar with this. Said, does our customer know what is this? We post a menu. The first 10 customer, 5 out of the 10 customer order a platter.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just
okay.
amazing. What just kind of took off.
Uh-huh.
And so we're serving it right now on the hot and cold. So either you use it as a base for your protein, or you can use it as cold on your salads.
Wow. That's great. That sounds wonderful. Well, now, before you had talked about, you're looking at, of course, you already have a store in Nashville, and you're looking at other locations for A, corporate stores, and B, possible franchisees. How has that discussion gone in the past few weeks?
Well, it's doing very well. I mean, we have a lot of people are actually interested in, from California all the way to New York. Of course, the franchise process is very lengthy, and people are, looking. We have a lot. Again, we have a lot of inquiry. We're capturing all that information, and our, consultant and sales guys are reaching out to some of those folks. But we're still on track to open Elizabethtown in this month, as well as finalizing the lease for downtown Louisville. Actually not this week, but next week. It's between attorneys, and unfortunately, it's a little bit lengthy process, but that's on the table, and we're down to the final couple of things.
We know that feeling, yes. Having gone through a couple purchases of radio stations, yes, we understand that, yes. Once it gets into their hands, it takes some time. There's no doubt about it.
I want to circle, Charles, around the menu. We introduced, while we're hot, we're getting into the fourth quarter, we'll introduce a catering menu, by the way, and geared, of course, with the new product and getting prepared for the holiday season. So that's already out, and in the business around our locations, and beside that, we're working very closely with Dr. Paul Aoun, which is our medical advisor, which is, I'm sure you've probably seen the press release recently.
Did. Yep.
And I believe by the end of this month we'll be ready to declare. Don't quote me on this, but we're ready to declare that we are one of the only restaurant or few restaurants we're MSG free. Everything on the menu is MSG free, and probably well over 90% of our product are gluten free. But we're in the process of certification, and Dr. Paul is knee deep into this, verifying with our distributor, our manufacturer, and look for announcement hopefully by the end of this month.
Well, the MSG thing is a big issue. I mean, it really is, and being MSG free is absolutely phenomenal. I think that's great.
I never realized how prevalent MSG is until I looked at a company that actually manufactures it.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just, it's so widespread and so taken for granted. It's not just Chinese food. I mean, it's
oh no,
it's prevalent throughout the entire spectrum of prepared foods.
Well, and I now I get an instant headache from it. If I have MSG, man, it's there in 5 minutes. It doesn't take long for me to react to that. So this is quite amazing, Ghazi. You've got a great story to tell. Charles, what about the business side of this?
Well, at this point, it hasn't really been, germane. This is more the, proving that it works and, looking at all of the factors that show that it's a viable business. And I think that the opening of the company stores, goes a long way towards proof of concept. But, now we're talking about franchisees, and from the business side, you have to realize that, a franchise sale has no cost of goods sold. And so as a business model, companies that, transition from the company-based to the franchise-based tend to do pretty well just based on that fact. I mean, the company still has, a huge job making sure that all of their franchisees are using the proper products and the proper methods, et cetera. But, that's a continuing revenue stream that, as I said, has no cost to it.
Ghazi, how do you, if you will, untrain maybe some of your new employees who might have worked at other fast food places that, with a lot of fried foods and stuff like that?
We, as you are aware, I had worked, of course, all my life, well over 30 years in the restaurant business.
Yes.
Even though I went to University of Michigan, studied engineering, all that good stuff, but worked for Little Caesars from, so my career started as a busboy and and cleaning table on 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in one of the pizza parlors. And of course, over the years, worked with Little Caesar corporate, and I've been a franchisee. Me and my brother, we own at some point well over 70 restaurants. So, and after Caesar's era, I joined Quiznos. I worked with Quiznos for 9 years. I was their vice president for a Southeast region and handled over 1,000 franchisees.
Wow.
So I have the experience really to manage the franchisee and work closely with them, and specifically in training as well as processes. So we already created some process and training for not just a new employee, for our franchisee. We have very structured, 4 weeks plan for a new franchisee come in and work with our, trainers in the restaurant, learn the processes, and of course take away all our recipes and processes and to implement them in his and her stores when at some point they open. So that piece of the business, really it come natural to me and to the team because that's the life I lived for the last 15 years between Quiznos and other companies, and that's what we've done. Besides writing manuals and processes and opening checklists, closing checklists, and all the good stuff in between, and that's what we've done. And part of the thing I've done with Quiznos, I ran the opening team. Basically, we opened store all over the United States. In 5 quarters, I opened 525 restaurants with my team. I have 36 opener and 6 directors.
Yes.
So I managed that piece of the business, and we blew, opening sales record out of the park. So for the experience, definitely we got the right person, I think, at the helm to really be a successful franchisor.
Yeah,
you'll have to get together with Mike and get started on Las Vegas.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I will.
Yep, I got the places earmarked for him.
All right, where would you put it, Mike?
Well, where there's really a tremendous amount of parking available. I like a spot on Sand Hill in Flamingo where the Gold's Gym had a huge, one of the largest gyms in the country closed. And there's 3 banks there, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Nevada State Bank. And there's all the space from the old closed Gold's Gym that's huge, which is one of the finest gyms. It was one of the finest and largest gyms. There was an argument with the landlord. Something went wrong, and so all of this space is available. Tremendous amount of space.
How close is it to the convention center?
And so it's 2 miles east.
Ooh, okay. Yep.
Just
Okay.
2 miles.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
I can't imagine that there wouldn't be a half a dozen good locations in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and especially somewhere either near UNLV, Nevada,
Right.
Las Vegas University, or the Conviz Center. I mean, that's that convention.
And you know, Las
visitor
Vegas
center.
has kind of a strange market. I mean, if you're not on a package, or you're not going to, you know, a $15 buffet, which is, you know, over the price point of this anyway, you know, there just aren't that many places to get a good, healthy, you know, meal quickly and reasonably. I mean, you know, there's plenty of Morton's and Capitol Grills and, you know, et cetera. But, you know, not everybody is in Las Vegas for the shows, you know.
Right.
The staff in Las Vegas is tremendous, as is with any service or tourist industry. And so, you know, something like this, fast and reasonably priced, has got to be a home run in a place like that.
Yeah.
Just the way it is in Miami
and healthy.
or Pembroke Pines.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, to follow up on your conversation, actually last week, or actually the previous week, we had finalized the design of the non-trad location, which is we could fit GRILLiT into about 425 square feet, and we will still serve full menu in that square footage. Basically, beside being on a traditional location like you had just mentioned, we could be a non-traditional location inside a casino or inside any place with a much smaller footprint. You know,
Sure.
we have, and so the design is complete. Our, of course, architect already signed off on it, and so really, you know, exciting piece for us. At some point,
Yeah,
when
you know.
opportunity presents itself, definitely we'll explore the non-trad location, basically like the casinos and airports and other, you know, Turnpike Plaza, hospitals. So we're trying to, beside, you know, a university, beside just being a traditional, we could be non-traditional at the same time.
Ghazi,
Yeah, you know, a lot of the places, like the last time that Mike and I did a money show in Las Vegas, it was at Mandalay Bay, and you know, everybody tries to have the forum shop kind of you know, atmosphere, but in between the casino and the convention area, there are an awful lot of, you know, indoor, let's say, food courts.
sure.
And, you know, a lot of, I mean, I don't know that it's a Caesars and the Forum shops or Bellagio, but it certainly is the Luxor and Mandalay Bay who, you know, have these food courts, you know, one floor up from, you know, up an escalator from the casino floor. So, you know, it seems like that would be an excellent fit, too.
Ghazi, have you thought about, say, with Carnival and or Royal Caribbean, about doing something on board a ship, or is that doable?
Definitely is doable, but no, we haven't explored that piece yet. But definitely it's a great idea. I got to look at my Rolodex and reach out to some of the folks I know at those companies.
Well, we carry the Miami Heat now, so, you know, it's the same family. We'll get you the phone number. Oh, that's great. You know, I just think your concept is really going to be a hit, because I think there's just more and more people. I don't care what the age is. It's just becoming more health conscious. You know, I mean, yeah.
And you know, to follow up on Mike's, that we, beside the, you know, the smaller square footage, we do have kiosk setting as well as cooler setting, which is we can sell our salads, our wraps, our, you know, all the product we have like 40 or 50% of our menu could be served cold. So really very diversified, not just being a traditional and healthy and you know, open grill setting where, you know, our centerpiece we can really be in a kiosk setting or grab and go setting and still you know, reach out to our customer and make sure they get a healthy meal.
Yeah, that would be great for Marlins games, because not everybody wants a cold hot dog for $7.
I don't know about the price. Let's not get there.
Not if they can get a good healthy wrap for the same.
No, believe me, you cannot get a healthy wrap in that stadium. That's
yeah.
That's
Ghazi,
definite.
let's talk about the price points. I mean, what is the average check in the restaurants?
We're our lunch average check, our lunch including drinks, we're about $8.40, between $8.40 to just shy of $9. So if the folks want to order steak, salad, which is we have an amazing steak, which consists of course steak, romaine lettuce, mushroom, red onions, feta cheese, salsa, and 2-3 other items, including the dressing. Let's get into a little bit into the $9 range.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but an average customer, we have been open for a little bit over, close to 2 years. We've been in about the $8 range, a little bit over $8, basically with the drink. If you want to just go in and get the basic GRILLiT own dish, which consists of rice, yellow, brown, or white rice, the chicken, lettuce, tomato, and cheese and dressing, that's $5.99. I mean, that's as low as you're going to get. But of course, when you get into the drinks or a little bit more sophisticated food, which is chicken breast and steaks, you get a little bit higher than that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that goes, without saying, across the across the spectrum. We have a place here that is mall-based called Moe's. I don't know if they're national or not.
Moe's
Are they?
Southwestern
Southern.
yes.
Yeah, and you can't get out of there for less than that.
Oh yeah, no, that's very true. No, the price.
No, I mean, you look at this. If you go to just any fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever. If you go order the basic stuff, you're walking away with $8, and you're eating a sandwich, with a processed meat. No matter who knows what's in there, and process. While you come to GRILLiT, where you have your grain, your protein, the chicken is right there, grilled in front of you. It's not processed, and everything's fresh, and you're paying practically the same price.
Yeah.
People who are, health conscious are willing to pay 50 cents or $1 more to eat a healthier meal. You're not asking them to spend $3-4. You ask them to just for probably 50 cents or $1 more to eat a healthy meal.
Right.
Ghazi, what impressed me the first time we talked was the fact that, basically from point A to point B, you can have a wonderful natural meal in a half hour. I mean, you're not going to be waiting around. Some of these fast food restaurants now, you can wait a good half hour before you even get your food. Or maybe not that long, but maybe 20 minutes, which is hardly fast.
And in a drive-through, if the people in front of you have a family of 3, you could sit there a while.
That's right.
Yeah, we had talked a little bit earlier. We beside we have our amazing line or cooking line, which is beside being consistent with our proprietary items. We have 6 beside being a great fresh protein place. Our speed of service from the time you order, if you're familiar with our menu, from the time you order to the time to pay, will be 2 minutes and 30 seconds or even less. So we move our line faster. Statistically said, by the time you get to the restaurant, the time you leave, you have only 26 minutes. We can serve our people as fast as within like 3 minutes or less, so they enjoy more time, sit down, enjoy the meal, and chat with their friends. So besides being consistent, our accuracy is 100% because the customer is going to really point out to the product he or she wants. Give me this, give me lettuce, give me tomatoes, give me fresh cilantro, give me jalapeno. They're picking up the product right in front of them, and they, with less than 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes, and they're on the table within 5 minutes. So they have 21 minutes to sit down, enjoy a great lunch. And really, that's how we train and preach our message to our employees to get in and out as fast as you can, plus being 100% accurate so the customer really get what they ordered and on time, and so they can enjoy their meals.
Well, it sounds great.
Great.
Sounds great. Mike, any questions out in San Francisco?
No, it's just I'm just looking forward to getting some restaurants out here, out in this area, and it's just a great concept, and it's just going to do fantastically well. The stock is doing very well. People really like it. It's not many shares are outstanding, and it has a tremendous opportunity.
And we're well, to follow up, we're very unique. We're innovative. We're a very, very few players in our segment, the Caribbean Latin fusion arena. We're not, like you said earlier, in Mo's or other concept and Mexican, flavor. We're right down the middle. We're basically bring in an amazing menu, innovation menu, and service time is great, and it's a basic health conscious. It's basically everything with an open grill right there for you. You see the chicken and steaks, everything right in front of your face, and it's just amazing concept. And we feel, we can cater, of course, beside the corporate stores, more so on the franchise end of it, and it's pretty easy to duplicate as we go because we have, our marination, system marination, all the seasoning, a special product for us, special package from a manufacturer in Tampa to create the consistency across the flavor and duplicate the stores as we go.
Wow, it's a great story, Ghazi. And what's your website if folks want to be involved? I know I took a couple calls here the first time you were on from folks who might be interested in franchises. What's your website?
The website is www.GRILLIT Inc. GRILLITINC.com, and our office number is 305-716-4195.
All right, that sounds great. Charles, any more questions for Ghazi?
Not that I can think of. We have a 17B on this. We are being paid by GRILLiT to help them get the word out, and personally I have bought stocks in the open market, so we take care of that. And I'm just looking forward to actually seeing some of the stuff next week. And Greg, you might tell people how they can actually watch the show as well as listen to it.
Oh, sure. Just go to WPSLTV.com and hit the Ustream button, and you're right there. So, and actually, what we will do after the show, as Mike knows very well, is that we will also send it to YouTube. So it will also be there. And needless to say, Ghazi, you've got permission to use this on your website as well. So it's a great story, and we'll be glad to meet you next week.
Well, really appreciate your time, and thanks to the audience for their time, and hopefully you'll be able to visit us on the website and see the amazing concept.
That sounds great, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.
Okay.
Thanks, Ghazi.
All right. GRILLiT. Boy, what a concept. No MSG. That is huge. That is really huge.
Well, and there's nothing like being able to pick out your own protein and have it made the way that you want it.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a step above, okay, I'll have the grilled chicken sandwich as opposed to the crispy chicken sandwich at, at a McDonald's or a Burger King or something. You're seeing the stuff. You're making your choice of, what type of protein you actually want, and, fresh vegetables, and, it's, I think that's terrific. I remember, I don't know if it's even still there, but there used to be a restaurant in Florida called Burns. Is that still around?
Boy, I've never
Greg?
seen. I don't know.
Oh, Burns was a place that was basically a steakhouse, but they also grew their own grains to make bread, grew all of their own vegetables, and had a wine list that was so big that it was tethered to the table on a chain because people used to steal them.
Ooh.
It was not an inexpensive place, but
Right.
I'm just saying they did everything from the grains to the beef and everything in between. And when you have that kind of control, you're almost by default having a healthier meal than you would if you go to any place that has any degree of processing.
Sure.
And clearly, the McDonald's and Burger Kings of the world, certainly have their place, but it's not on the healthy side.
Right. We actually got something over the wire this morning I thought was fascinating regarding the new health care bill, which, like it or not, it's here and stuff like that, where Chrysler is predicting that new car sales will not be as good because of the taxes associated with the new health care bill, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's like, ooh, okay, that's an angle I didn't think about, but it's something that's definitely going to be reality. They are predicting Fiat is going to be down 24% over a couple years ago. Whoa.
That's massive.
Yeah, it is. It really is. By the way, I've got to mention this. The owner of the Orlando Magic basketball team is the founder of Amway. And, anyway, long story short, Amway is now funding a course at Harvard University for Chinese investors in Amway. And apparently, they have just surpassed the $9 billion commission mark in China, which is just mind-boggling to me. I just think it's absolutely amazing. But so anyway, Amway is now sponsoring a course at the Harvard Business School, which I think is just truly amazing.
Yeah.
And getting to our business now, which obviously we had our broadcasters convention, and there are a lot of things that came out of it, and obviously the big thing is we've got to pay attention to our core business, which is what we do here at the radio station. But the other is digital, and especially digital television. And what we are looking at doing, hopefully by the second quarter of next year, is what they call cord cutter television. And that's going to be for tablets, for, something we didn't expect, according to the folks at Ooyala, which is a new metrics company that's brand new. But the smart televisions by 2017 would be well over 70% of the television market.
And what is the classification smart television?
Smart TVs will be just basically plugged into the internet, and you can have as many as like 20 different things going at one time, which would drive me absolutely nuts. But
and it filters itself to what you want. Is that the smart part of it?
It could go that far. Yeah, it's and again, this goes back to what you said at the beginning of the show about Google. I mean, there's all sorts of weird stuff that's going to be happening in the next 4 years, but it's all
now. Will Sinclair be your partner in that?
I can't talk about Sinclair.
Oh,
they're
okay.
right. They're right.
I'm only asking because I know Sinclair is a partner in some things, and their stock has been.
Actually, we're going to be doing a lot more with Sinclair in the next few months. They have the CBS television station, which has supplied our weather now for well over 5 years. Their meteorologists are on the air here all 24/7. So it's the relationship is going to get stronger and stronger. And you are correct. Sinclair is a company that. Folks need to look at. If you're looking at buying into a media company, very interesting. They're making some very, very clever moves on the investment side.
And as far as from the shareholder side, And these media companies have a phenomenal amount of free cash flow.
Yes.
To either return to the shareholders or to reinvest in, what they're doing, or increase what they're doing in any market that they're in. I mean, it's a very positive industry. I mean, look at what's happened to Comcast.
Sure.
I mean, Comcast was just a cable company.
Right.
Now they're, they own CNBC. Are they partners in
NBC?
Universal?
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah. And you start looking at that, and especially Comcast is well aware, and I know Time Warner as well, that the days of cable, because of these smart televisions, may be not over, but at least lessened to a degree by 2017, 2018. So, and they're getting into some of this cord-cutting stuff, too. So, it's going to be really interesting to see this whole media landscape in the next 5 years.
And I have to tell you, and this is just a personal experience, in the last 2 weeks, I have had, without any question, the most miserable time with Comcast. Because they've gotten so big, and of course they ask you to give them all of your business.
Oh, yeah.
Which I do, to the tune of, and I have everything that there is to have. My bill is about $300 a month. And that includes all of the internet stuff, every station, every channel that there is, and 3 phone lines.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, it's a lot of money. It's probably worth it, but on the customer service side, oh my God!
Oh yeah, no, I know.
And I'm sure that it's not just Comcast. I'm sure it's all of them.
Yeah.
But they ask you for all the services. You give them all the services. And then if you don't have a cell phone and your service goes down, you can't even call them.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Well, Charles, Michael, Mike, have a safe trip back to Las Vegas from San Francisco.
Thank you.
And I'm glad it all went very, very well last night into the wee hours of the morning for you in San Francisco. And we'll be talking with you next week, guys. Money Info brought to you by Princeton Research with Mike King in Las Vegas normally. He's in San Francisco this morning. And Charles Moskowitz in Boston. And hey, maybe next week Ghazi will actually be in studio with his marvelous menu from GRILLiT. You bet we'll sample it. It's WPSL Port St. Lucie, WPSL TV, Rancher Coast of Florida.